the reason I want to do it with you guys, hi, is it's also a podcast that I'm going to air later with the two of us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my conversation with the amazing McKenzie Westmore, my co-star. There she is. She joined. I think I can bring her in right away. Wait, it's only give me the option to remove you or unfollow you. Can you request? Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice. Want to remove you. So I think I'm gonna have to turn down your speaker on here so I don't hear you, which will be fine. But I'll hear you on here.
There we go.
Hi.
So wild, Paul.
I know. I got you here. I got you here. Welcome, everybody. This is McKenzie, and do I have a repeat? Oh, you know what it is? Turn me down on your computer completely.
The volume?
Yeah. You'll hear me here instead. Yeah, and that's fine. I'm still recording. There we go. Good. There we go. Hi. For all of you, what'd you say?
Hallelujah. We figured it out.
We figured it out. We'll hopefully still be able to record on there, but this way, otherwise we're getting like a thing. So everybody, this is McKenzie. McKenzie and I did a movie, and we wanted to quickly hop on here, and I have some bizarre, strange facts and questions to ask her that they're sort of true or false. And first, I wanted to actually, I'll let a few more people come on before we do the giveaway. But we have a giveaway, so if you just pop on, don't go anywhere, because you actually have to be here to do the giveaway to win the giveaway.
Right?
Yes. Well, we're gonna do it at the beginning. We're gonna give it. We're gonna so they can take their goods and run if they want to.
That's not cool.
They won't. They'll stay.
Okay.
And so McKenzie and I have a movie coming out on Hallmark Channel on May the 10th at 8/7 Central. And there's Andrew, admit. And so I wanted to give the opportunity for my folks to meet you, and I wanted to meet some of your folks. And we're going to talk just a little bit about the movie, but also the watch party that's coming up on the same day of the thingamabob of our premiere. And I'm doing a concert before. We're gonna watch the movie together on whatever streaming you have. If you have Hallmark cable, you can do it. If you don't, or you're out of the country, there's an app called Friendly that you can watch it, FRNDLY, and they stream it in real time. I think they do, right, ladies? Yes, real time. Friendly, yes, real time.
Cool.
And then in between on the commercials, I'm gonna pop in and share some behind the scenes secrets, and then right after the movie, Mackenzie's going to pop on, and we're going to do Q&A with you folks, with the folks over here, who come to the live show. And then we're also doing a free t-shirt. I mean, it's not free because it costs to come to the event, so a t-shirt and a signed poster of the movie. And so that's on May 10th. And I've never done one of them before. I don't even know where the idea came from. It's probably from one of my amazing people here. But all of a sudden we're doing it. I don't know how we're doing it, but we're doing it.
You've never done a watch party?
No, have you?
No, I just assumed you'd always done one.
No, I didn't even know what it was.
I don't know why it seemed natural that you've done this.
Well, it seemed like a natural thing. I knew I wanted to do a concert. You know what it was? Is in last year for Christmas Con, I had a concert booked, and a lot of people were flying in and they got tickets. But then I got our movie, and I couldn't go to Christmas Con to perform the concert.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because we originally were going to film in January, and then it got, first October, November, January, it bounced all over the place.
Yeah, both of our paths to coming onto this movie are a movie in themselves. They're quite yours more of an adventure than mine, but quite the adventure on how we both. How did you find out about this movie, and how did it come in? Love in the Clouds, by the way, we're talking about Love in the Clouds, Hallmark Channel, May 10th. McKenzie and I are in this picture together. She plays Brooklyn, and I play Jade and Jared, Jerky Jared. Jerky Jared. How did the movie come to you?
It was my agent. I've got this amazing agent, Lynette. She is primarily an agent for like above the line writers, directors, producers. She's handling Lisa. She is Lisa Hefner's agent, and so
Right.
it was kind of a package deal. And because I'm new to the Hallmark crowd, I can't blame them for kind of like production trying to like push me out a little bit because I'm the new kid. So I was fighting tooth and nail though. I was in there,
Yes.
not letting go.
And what was your overall experience? Like, did you like it as much as you thought you would or more?
Well, first of all, I thought I would love it.
Yeah.
But it even exceeded that. And the way that I put it to everybody that I talked to about doing a Hallmark movie, it's like waking up. We do films, we do projects, and there's some projects you wake up in the morning, you're like, it's early, I don't.
Yeah.
You drag it in bed. I would wake up, no joke, Paul, every single morning. I would wake up and I'd be like, it felt like Christmas for me. I couldn't wait to get to set. I couldn't wait to get in my wardrobe. I couldn't wait to get out there with you. I had the best time. It was like living a dream every single day for 3 weeks. That's what it was for me.
I love
Yeah, it's
that.
Christmas morning every day.
I know they have that feeling, especially when you're really close with hair and makeup and with the crew and with the drivers, everybody, and it feels like camp a little bit. When at its best, it feels like camp, and you never want it to end when you're doing it.
No, no. This one, though, I got to say was for me was really special. And it's not to diminish any other shows that I've done because I've always had amazing experiences. Um, my soap opera was a little daunting, but overall, I've had
Yeah,
some great experiences.
soaps are like holding on to the Jesus handle in your car, right? Like it
It
is.
it is the Jesus handle the whole 9 years.
Yeah, that is 9 years. Okay, we have to give away. Hold on, we're gonna come back. We have to give away. So Vasiliki and Linda have both donated a ticket to give away. So this is both by accident bought two, and instead, this is the kind of fans I have. Instead of them asking for it back, they're like, "Can I donate it?" So they're giving.
Oh,
Yes, so we have
great.
two to give away, and I can't the people down. Oh, here we go. I can see a little bit more. I'm gonna randomly choose somebody, and if I choose you, in order for you to win this, you actually have to DM me, and then Ruth is gonna see the DM, and she will make sure you get your ticket to come to the live event, which is a watch party. Are you ready? So I see a little silhouette of a man's got a moose. No, yeah. Okay, I
Okay, that's a funny
see
memory I have from set.
that
Well,
song.
not that song. I just remember every day, like something funny would come out of your mouth, and I remember being like way in the back, waiting or getting my hair and makeup done, and I would bust up laughing. And most of them were like, "You okay?" I'm like, losing it.
Yeah, you're
King of
quick. You're quick to laugh.
one-liners.
That's one of your. That's one of your. Oh, we knew so because we're from this similar time. All of the movies like Tommy Boy and Dumb and Dumber. Mackenzie knew every stupid little one-liner that I would like mutter under my breath, thinking nobody heard it, and she'd be on the floor laughing, and I like found it made me smile so much. Okay, I found our winner, Jean LW58. She says, "Hey, Kenzie." She knows you.
Yes, I've
So,
known her for like decades.
so Jean wins the ticket to the watch party, and that includes a T-shirt. And so, just DM me, Jean. And you can also, as a backup, DM Ruth, but she'll see it. We'll see it. So, Jean, DM. So that's winner number one. Thank you, Vasiliki. That was from you. And then this next winner is from Linda. We're choosing one more.
Yes, she was
Uh,
at my Passions event in 2001.
no
Yes,
way. So
yes.
she's coming to our yes, Harry. Okay, Harry asks, Harry 0312 says the movie only takes 3 weeks to make. The answer is
Yeah.
yes. And Harry, you are also our second winner. Okay. So Harry 0312, send a DM that says I won. And then Ruth's also writing it down. So those are, thank you, Vasiliki, for your generosity, and thank you also, um, Linda. Okay, so we've picked our winners. Just DM guys, and then we're good to go. So I'm gonna read the first. I have 10 insane factoids um, about Mackenzie that I found on the internet, and this is a true and false. So
Scared.
you this Oh, and it just could be, and this is what I asked GPT for its help, so it could be totally off. Google, I trust it more than Google, though.
Oh,
Google
I do too. Oh no, I go to ChatGPT for more things now.
right? More and more. I think more and more people
Yeah,
are actually.
yeah,
Um, okay, here. So what we're gonna do, the first question, are you ready?
yeah.
Okay.
Where do I look?
Okay. Where did it go? Okay, hold on. Here we go. This is you had an early start in film. This is what it says.
Okay.
At just 3 years old, McKenzie appeared as Robert De Niro's daughter in Raging Bull, 1980, thanks to her father's in connection and film makeup department.
Yes, that is true. So the real
You,
story, what happened?
this
I
is true?
This is true, and I still have it on my resume to this day because it stops people in their tracks when they see Raging Bull. Because it's funny.
What?
I'm the little girl that's by the pool with Kathy Moriarty and Robert De Niro. I'm the one that's in his lap. You see those famous photos with Joe Pesci. Um, so the quick story of it was my dad was creating all the prosthetic makeup. My dad's lab was attached to the house. So when my dad was doing makeup, my mom's cleaning the house, Robert De Niro would babysit me.
Come on.
Not kidding. So, Paul, I got the most random stories for you.
You do. No,
So,
you win. You take the cake for the most random of
most
randomness.
random stories. So my mom went to my dad and she said, he's gonna, they haven't cast the daughter yet. He's gonna come and ask for McKenzie to play his daughter. My dad was like, no, he's not gonna do that. Sure enough, the next day, Robert De Niro went to my parents and said, I already get along with your daughter. She's already like used to me. Like she feels like my daughter. Can she play my daughter? And so they're like, yeah, of course, sure.
Wow.
So my first job was in a bowl detergent commercial at one. I had to walk a couple steps, and I don't remember this, but my mom said she was on one side of the room, my sister was on the other, and they both had lemon heads because I loved lemon heads when I was little, and that was how they got me to walk 4 steps. So I got the job. Then, when I was 3, I did Raging Bull with Robert De Niro.
Wow, 3 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought okay, that's pretty awesome. We should do a. I'm going to the next one. I'm going to have people in the chat to tell me if they think it's true or false before. Okay,
I
ready?
love
This is
that.
this is the second one.
Okay.
Mackenzie, and don't give anything away with your face.
Okay.
Mackenzie is a trained opera singer. She's performed in operas and musicals, including Dido, Aeneas, The Sound of Music, and The Little Shop of Horrors. So in the chat, let's see true or false in the chat here, and we'll see if this is a true or false question. Hang on. Based on our first, okay, there we go. True or false? What do you guys think? What do you think? And in on Zoom here, in my we got some trues in the we got some trues in our chat here. We got Deanna thinks mostly true. False. Okay, we got a
No,
false.
false.
Karen thinks false. Not true. More not true. Uh true. Okay. SoCal director, true. The majority think it's true. Is it true or false?
It is true.
A trained opera singer. Did you tell me that?
I might have somewhere. We had so much we were doing. I think it was in passing. So the whole premise behind that, I always my big goal in life was to go to Broadway. I always wanted to go to Broadway. And when I was 7 years old, my parents are amazing, and they were always supportive of every dream, everything I wanted to do. So at the time, there were reruns of the original Star Trek, and you know that the theme song. They were in the living room and they heard the theme song, and they came into my room and they're like, "How are you watching Star Trek so early in the day?" And it was me singing the theme song. So my mom put me into opera lessons, and I ended up training with Seth Riggs, who did
The
Phantom.
speech level singing. And
Yeah.
Seth worked with Michael Jackson too. One of my
Yes.
favorite.
You trained Michael
That
Jackson. Yeah.
Seth Riggs is the type of vocal training that I work with.
So Seth is his wife, his ex-wife. I trained with her, and then I ended up. My mom somehow finagled her way into getting me coaching with the head mistress of opera at UCLA. We went to her. I think it was like 12, and we went to her house, and she was just like, "I am not taking a child on." And my mom said, "No, please, I'm begging you. Just let her sing for you. Please, I'm begging you." And the woman was like,
Wow.
"Oh, whatever, okay." And so I sang, and she's like, "Can you come tomorrow?" That was it.
No
So
way.
yeah, I did a couple of operas through high school. Did a lot of music. I love musical theater. Um, and then I started to. In fact, Jeannie will know this one because I used to sing in Nashville at the Wild Horse Saloon through my soap days because soaps and country they go hand in hand. So I was actually going to go a country direction. There was
No,
a period where I was going to move to Nashville and become a country singer.
no kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, my background is opera, and it's funny. I just talked to one of my pastors because she's got a gorgeous voice, and I said, "Can I please come in and do a duet with you?" And she's like, "Oh, I would love that." I was like, "I want to do it so badly."
Wild. Okay. I vaguely remember you saying something about singing, but trained opera singer.
Yeah.
Okay, next true and false. You guys ready? Don't give this away.
I will. I'll think about it.
McKenzie has appeared in multiple Star Trek series, including The Next Generation, Voyager, Picard, often in roles requiring extensive makeup. Oh, so Ruth looked it up before, so don't give any of these away, Ruth. If you looked her up, don't answer these. What do you guys think? True or false? Star Trek along the way. Wait, we got some false. Whoa, we got some false ones on here. Okay. On here I see several false. One true. Yes, yes, yes. We got Mary says yes, false. Stephanie thinks false. Oh my gosh. Wild Horse Saloon is where we did the Alzheimer's event? No kidding.
Yes. Yes.
False. We got true, true, true. HD Sue thinks true. Lynette true. Light Shine true. False. We got some false. Okay, what is it? True or false? And tell us the Star Trek
It's
story.
true.
It's true.
I have played several aliens. I have sat through hours of makeup, had my skin burnt.
Burnt.
um, because of the glue. And actually, the last Star Trek I did was Star Trek Picard. My friend who was on Face Off with me, who's one of the judges, he created an alien called Romsu, which is Westmore spelled backwards. And I had full facial prosthetics. I had a whole white wig. And the problem was we were filming in Santa Clarita, and Santa Clarita in the summer gets hot. It was a good like 110 out that day. And I had a Starfleet uniform all the way up to here, and they turned all the air conditioning off in the bridge where I was because they needed it to smoke up. I passed out. It's like, I can't do it. It's tough. It's hard. And it was during COVID times. So all of
Oh,
us had masks, but mine, because I had so much makeup on, they couldn't put a mask. So I had a collar that had a mask that came out like this. And I'm like, how is this going to protect me? Like, really? Or anybody else? So that was a tough one. And going before that, though, I did do Star Trek. I was a background on Next Generation with, God, I'm blanking on his name. This was with Sir Patrick Stewart, who
uh-huh.
is a really good friend. Um, so I was a kid that got kidnapped from this planet, and it was a whole story, but I was more background. And then as the years went on, Star Trek was actually really adamant about not hiring through nepotism. So I dyed my hair, dyed it blonde, cut it off, went in under a different name for Star Trek Voyager. I tell you, Paul, I got the weirdest stories. I went in under a different name, nobody recognized me, and I booked the role of Ensign Jenkins, who's the second woman in all of Star Trek history to basically fly the ship. I was put in charge of the ship. So there was almost a love interest between me and Ensign Kim for anybody that knows the show. So that's why I still will go do like the Star Trek conventions. I just did it last year, the year before in Vegas. So I'm still in the Star Trek
Wow.
universe.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's fun.
And
I'll send you a photo or I'll post it as something that the last alien I did. Normally I was a human. In the movie too, I did one of the Star Trek movies. I was a human. But there was, let's see, it was a Vulcan one time, and the last one was the most extensive. Like I said, this is probably 5 or 6 hours in the makeup chair
wow.
and getting ready. So that one I'll send you a photo because you look at it, it's like you can't see me at all. You see nothing of me.
Wild.
Crazy.
Wild.
Crazy
Wow.
stuff.
And so speaking of makeup and special effects, could you give us like a brief history? And then I want to ask you a couple questions about our movie that your experience on set and maybe any memories you have. Uh your there's a building at Universal that's called the Westmore building, right?
Bud Westmore. Mhm.
And Bud Westmore was your uncle,
My great
your great
uncle.
uncle. And so, are we talking the 30s or the 40s here with film?
Let's see. They got their start early 1900s. So I'll try to be quick about it. My great grandfather was the wig maker to the royal court and Winston Churchill's barber. He came over early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. Started a wig shop on Sunset Boulevard. And it was the kind of place where he was doing Mary Pickford, Shirley Temple. He was creating all their curls and wigs. Adolphe Menjou was doing Three Musketeers, ran into the shop because he'd shaved off part of his mustache. Now, this was at a time when actors did their hair and makeup. Ran into my family shop and said, help, what do I do? My family sewed a tiny little piece of hair lace wig. They glued it on, and that was the birth of a makeup artist on set. That's when Hollywood realized actors shouldn't be doing their makeup. They needed to have somebody in charge of that. So that was the Westmores created. That's why we have a star on the Walk of Fame. Um, this is actually one of the in honor of it.
You
So from
was
there,
you. I didn't know you guys had a star on the Walk of Fame. Where was that in my Chat GPT search?
I don't
That would have been
know,
fun.
Hollywood and Vine, right in front of Katsuya.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty much, the story is that from there, I always joked, I called them the makeup mafia because they all kind of ran a studio through the 30s, 40s, 50s. They did everything from White Christmas, Gone with the Wind, Ten Commandments, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Breakfast at Tiffany's, all the most iconic films that we all know and love. We had Marilyn Monroe as a spokesmodel, Ava Gardner, Rita Hayworth. I've got so many amazing photos because my family invented individual false eyelashes. They invented translucent powder. They invented how we're to shape our eyebrows and the shape faces, like square, oval, heart. They invented that chart. So there's a lot of amazing inventions, and I have a great photo of my grandfather on the set of Gone with the Wind next to Olivia de Havilland with the very first airbrush compressor ever used on a set that he created. So there's a
That
lot of cool history there. And then moving forward, my dad then got into makeup. He actually was he wanted to be an archaeologist, but he did go into the family business. And he then I'm trying to think, he did all the Rockies. He did Raging Bull. He did a ton of movies. Mask, he did the movie Mask. He won the Oscar for Mask. And then the only reason he took Star Trek Next Generation was because he missed my brother and sister. My brother and sister are 10, 11 years older than me. And he really kind of missed their upbringing. And he was like, I'm not doing that with a third. So when I was about 8 years old, he took Star Trek Next Gen. And he worked 80 hours a week, but I at least saw him on the weekends. So I would go to set
wow.
and see him. Yeah.
Wild. So from a very obviously, if you're doing a commercial at one and sitting with playing De Niro's daughter, it was sort of you knew in some form you were going to be in the film industry, or was that not just a given?
So here's the interesting thing.
Where's the
I don't know
twist?
what happened. I went mute when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Went totally mute and would hide behind my mom's leg. My mom being Canadian, and nothing against therapy. I'm all for therapy if somebody needs it, but she didn't believe in therapy at the time. So as a little girl, she didn't put me in therapy. She put me in acting classes. And I remember getting on that stage, and even though I wouldn't speak to people in life, I would get on that stage, and I'll never forget the first acting thing that I had to do was open a box and find something of my imagination. And I found a butterfly, which was very telling because of the metamorphosis, the freeing. And I would get on stage and I would speak. And it was like, I found my voice. And then my parents, they like to joke, did they do the right thing? Because now I won't shut up.
I think so. I think that acting class should be one of those things, that whether you want to act or not, like if not that, Toastmasters or some form of using your body as an instrument, and if that's not singing, then maybe wrestling or jujitsu, like
Something.
to go through life without having the ability to train your body in some way and it's of course it's not for everyone because there's intellectuals, but even intellectuals, like, they would probably benefit from learning Tai Chi or something, because it would, if you free your mind through your body, at least I do. If I feel trapped in my mind, I'd go for a run or a
Oh,
walk
that's
or
me. Yeah. I lift weights. If I'm feeling trapped, I lift weights. I go hiking. I grab my dog, Meatloaf, and we go hiking.
Your dog's name is Meatloaf. Awesome. Awesome. I when you were telling me some of these stories, there's a story about the JFK. There's a JFK connection to your family that is so interesting, but I'm going to save it for our watch party, which is May
Are
10th.
you?
Everybody, if you're just
Yeah.
yeah, I want to save
Okay.
that one. That story,
Okay.
you guys think this is interesting? Her JFK story, um, and the connection, and on both
Me
sides, even your
and my
husband
husband. This is the weird
and
thing. It's me and my husband.
your husband is connected to that family,
Yeah.
like, and they're in such a, they're both so unique that I can't wait. We're going to share that during the Q&A on our after we watch the movie. So if some of you are just joining, Mackenzie and I have a movie that we starred in together called Love in the Clouds, and it's on Hallmark Channel May 10th, 8/7 Central. And so you played Brooklyn,
Berlin. Uh-huh.
and your tell us your favorite sort of memory from set, just the first thing that kind of comes to mind.
It's it sounds weird. My favorite memory is when you and I were working at the airport. Simply because it was one of those days where I hear from production Paul's sick. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to be in every scene. How am I going to do this? If I catch this, how am I going to do this? And I just remember going to you. This is when I feel like I bonded with you. Because it
Yeah.
was like, look, I raised a kid. I just need to know what color are we talking? Like, what's happening?
What end is it
What
coming
end is it
out?
coming out?
How
And I
sick.
remember you looked at me and you're like, you really have no filter. You really get no TMI.
It's true, you don't have a filter. That's that. I love that about you. I think that's awesome. Okay, and so tell everyone what happened.
So we found out that Paul had food poisoning. And I think, had you puked? I can't remember if you puked or not, but I didn't know if you
No,
had puked.
no,
So
no,
I
I
just I
hadn't.
just said, Paul, just grab an Altoid and let's just do
No, I
this.
hadn't
Let's just get this thing done.
done that.
I
No,
said,
I
get an
felt
Altoid.
I felt like doing that, but it didn't happen.
I
No.
felt so bad because you had, I mean, you makeup. I mean, you didn't have makeup on, but there was a moment you looked gray in the day, and then you pulled it together for filming, and you looked fantastic. But I just remember my heart just went out to you, and it was almost something like maternal that I felt. And then I remember you just were so sick backstage. I just remember staying with you and like getting you Gatorade and water and like, okay, we're gonna get you back. We're gonna heal you. Come on, we're gonna heal you back.
I know. I even did like an IV drip, and thankfully our producers, Galen and his partner, they hired
No,
a nurse, came and I usually I do an IV drip before every movie to
that's what I did.
protect my. You did,
Yep.
right?
I
Yeah.
do it before every, well, not this one that I'm doing, but usually I do one before every project because I'm with you. But food poisoning, you can't fight that.
No, and I hadn't had food poisoning in like 25 years, so it was shocking. It was just twisting me up. It was not it wasn't comfortable. And obviously I knew I was pretty sure it was food poisoning, but like 99% sure because of how it hit me in the middle of the
Yeah,
night.
I remember
Uh,
that. I remember you saying
and
that.
but still to come to you and I'm like, all right, this is our big kiss
The first
scene.
one, too. Like the first, like,
Yeah.
big, like, characters coming together, like the big moment of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. No, spoiler alert, there's a kiss.
I know, yeah, shocking.
If anyone hasn't seen one of these movies and doesn't know there's a kiss coming, then you're on the
The,
wrong channel.
the wrong characters say you're you do
Yeah.
not
So
watch
that, yeah,
Hallmark.
and we both, when you're doing a movie, they, to get an airport's expensive and awkward and
Yeah,
hard to shut and challenging to shut it down. So
true.
it's not like we could say, let's come back tomorrow and do this thing, or and so it's noisy too, and there's announcements and there's this and that. So
Oh, yeah.
we get to go do ADR, which I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's like overdubbing. So our movie's up on a screen and it's our first chance to see the movie. Some actors hate doing it, but I
I
actually really enjoy
love
it.
it.
Do
I think
you?
it's so fun. I love it. It's like a game to me to try and
What do you?
match my mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what you love about
I
it.
I I actually ADR'd an entire movie like decades ago They hired an actress who did a horror film, and they when they asked, like, how did you not figure this out when you're filming? They hated her voice, so they called me into ADR this chick's entire voice through the whole horror film. So I'm screaming and yelling, "The killer is coming!" So long story short, I love
So
ADR.
you got really good on that movie, then timing it.
I really enjoy it. And also Face Off. You figure that it was 13 seasons, and I had to ADR myself. I voice over to every episode. So I love it. I love voiceover. I love ADR. In fact, to the point where I really hit it off with the Vegas people that I worked with. So they keep me in the loop. If something comes up, they'll call me and be like, hey, you want to like read for this one? Sure, okay.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's
It's the
fun.
kind
And
of
that,
job you can do in your pajamas.
yeah, that's true. Voiceover work is kind of would be a really fun thing to do. I would really enjoy that
Yeah.
to like, and so, and that's where you get to see it in the scene where I was very
Yeah.
sick. They shot it in slow motion and it turned and it looked super great. It was like a
It's
really,
beautiful.
did you post that
I
thing yet or not
haven't.
yet?
Can I
Okay.
post it?
I think so. Why not? Isn't that, or is that clip not out anywhere?
It's not.
I wonder if we should maybe wait. I think Hallmark will probably drop some other, we'll
Trailers?
see. I don't
Okay.
know. That one might be giving away that we get together, but only everyone knows that we're going to get together. Like the, like,
All right.
and
Like you said, if you don't know by now, you don't know Hallmark.
you, yeah, if you don't know me by now. Okay. So, so you're on set and you're in New Mexico and you know you've never done a Hallmark movie before or a rom-com as the leading lady like this. Is that true?
Never. It's true. This is my first ever for all the genre, Hallmark, everything. That's what I'm saying. This was like I've been dreaming of Hallmark my whole life. Like ever since Hallmark became a thing, I have been putting it in the universe and dreaming of this. And I remember for like the longest time, like fighting tooth and nail, and I would just get pushed down every time, but I wouldn't let it keep me down. I was
Wow.
determined, Paul. I was like, this is going to happen. To me, there was no way out of this. This was going to happen one way or another, whether it was now or at 90 years old, it was going to happen.
Wow. I love that. I love that. And your experience of so with every day that like what people don't know is often with these movies they're rewriting them a lot
Yeah.
and we're changing but this one stuck pretty close. It was one of the best.
Oh,
I mean it was a really great script. And what I loved about it is sometimes on our the night before we get like we added a few things here and there but in general it
you
stayed
were
pretty
great
much.
about that. I loved that. You were
Yeah.
so good about that, about like ad libbing, and it was so easy.
Yeah, I really love the scene in the backyard,
Oh, yes.
which we can talk about on the at the watch party a bit, but um, the way that that thing came together and all the different pieces of it, and it's really like a dance. It's like it's the all is lost moment of the movie. We did that pretty early on too,
It
didn't we?
was. Yeah. I want to say that was,
Day one.
that was day one. Oh my goodness, that
Was
was. Because that was
right.
another great scene.
And we were shooting in this tiny little
Yeah.
house in these tiny little green rooms. What did you think of Albuquerque?
I actually flipped out over Albuquerque. I know that they're trying to break the image of Breaking Bad and Rust. And I think this is a great way to break the image because the Albuquerque that I got to know, I fell in love with. I mean, from the restaurant we filmed at to the homes to remember we were in holding in a church. Even my hotel, I loved that hotel. It was haunted. I loved
Yeah,
that.
you enjoy that, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Ah,
I was so, I was loving it.
that is so funny. I never did you experience anything
Oh
happening?
yeah.
You did? Of
Oh
course you
yes.
did.
You didn't hear this?
No?
Okay, I'll tell it fast. So the first thing that happened was I got in the room and there was a drawer that kept opening and closing and opening and closing. And now I had heard that this was a mental hospital, then it turned into a children's hospital. So it is known as haunted. I even went to the front desk and they're like, oh, no, 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 no. And they're like, they wouldn't talk to me. And I'm friends with Zach Baggins, who does Ghost Adventures. He actually offered them money, and they said nope. They will not talk. But it's so stupid because it's all over the internet. It's like, guys, you got a whole audience here that'll come. So anyhow, this drawer kept opening, closing, and I finally, I'm the kind of person that, whether it's ghosts or energies or spirits, whatever it is, I don't know. I don't know what's beyond yet. I have a good feeling, but I don't know. I just thought, well, if it felt like a little kid because it was in my snack drawer. I had like sodas and candies and my little like things that I love to snack on at night. And so that's what kept opening and closing. And so I said, okay, whoever's here, I appreciate your presence, but if you could please keep the drawer closed because it's waking me up at night. And I'm only here for 3 weeks. This is your space. I greatly appreciate you allowing me in your space, but if you could please do me the favor, just keep that drawer closed for me. That would be so great. It never opened again.
Come on.
I'm not kidding, Paul. And then the second thing that happened, do you remember how cold it was on set?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I got to set one day and I went, oh man, I forgot to turn my heater on in the room. It's going to be freezing when I get back. And I was so upset. And I never voiced this to anybody. So production didn't know this. I get back to my room that night, the heater was on.
Oh, in your hotel room.
So I was like, oh, my little ghost is like caring for me.
I agreed. I thought Albuquerque was special. I fell in love with like balloons for some weird reason, like pictures of
We
balloons
talked about it, yeah.
or buttons, like a button that has a balloon on it, or like I don't know why, but it's almost like got into
Magical.
you. What's that? It's magical.
Yeah.
It's enchanting, and it's partly the air and the sky because the sky was just remarkable.
Yeah.
And
And I'm seeing people ask, what was it like flying in a hot air balloon? No, thing is we didn't get to go up in a real hot air balloon. There's a lot when you film that with insurance and issues that can happen.
yeah,
I know you
devastating.
wanted to. I didn't.
I was chomping at it. That's funny. Our character, it was
Our
exactly the
characters
same
are
as our
that.
characters. That our characters were the exact same. That I wanted to go, and your character wanted to stay on the ground.
When we filmed that one, I don't want to give anything away, but there's a scene where I get anxious about the whole hot air stuff. And I remember our director Larry coming up to me afterwards, going, "Wow, that was amazing! Great job, McKenzie. The anxiety." I said, "Yeah, that was real. That wasn't acting."
Yeah, because you thought you were going to have to go up.
Yeah, I thought I was, and
Oh,
I was working my head up. I really
oh,
thought I was going to have to go up in the air, and I'm like, how do I do this? I'm going to get fired. How do I do this? I can't go up in a hot
oh.
air balloon. I was Paul. I was panicking.
Hmm. We also got the opportunity to go inside a balloon, which is like
Rare.
apparently very rare. Our guy, do you remember the name of our balloonist?
Oh my goodness, I'm blanking. He was so lovely and so sweet, and the fact that you and I got to walk inside.
Yeah, it was partially
Oh,
inflated by a huge fan, not by hot air, but like by a monster, a big wind mover. And then we took off our shoes and they shot us walking around in there for this scene in the movie. And then afterwards he came up to me. I feel so bad. Justin, something. Uh, he he came up to me. He goes, "You know what that just was?" He goes, "I've been around balloons for my whole life, and I've done that twice ever." And he goes, and he said
oh
he'll
wow.
probably, and he said I'll probably never get to do it again. It's one of those very, very rare things where either they're retiring a balloon and you go in, or you have to check for something, and it's pretty awesome.
That's
It-
insane.
yeah,
I didn't know
I want to
that.
go back during the fiesta and
I
actually go up.
Yeah. I don't want to go up, but I want to go back for the fiesta.
You wouldn't go up?
I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe if I knew we could get up high enough, and I'm like, I'm out, and we can bring me back down. I just gotta know that I can come down when I want to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't, and it's crazy that you can't steer them. I don't know if people know this, but you get up in the air, and that's it. Like you can go up and down with your heat, but you're at the mercy of God, and you're in the wind. And I don't know if this surprised you, but to hear that your hair doesn't move
Yes,
up there.
that did surprise me. And so that's where it trips me up a little bit, because I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
Well, I know, and so because I was like, "Where's the wind fan? There, where's the fan?"
You're in
Because
the you
we're
are the wind.
we are in the wind. Like we're there's no resistance
Oh,
because you're moving with the
right.
current. I thought that was really special, and I put that in the song.
Love
It's
this
a
song,
lyric.
by the way.
Oh, you like it?
I love it. That's why I keep putting it on my video, on my posts.
Oh, yeah, you can find it on TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram. So if there's five Easter eggs in that song. They're all lines from our script.
I'll have to go back and listen now.
Yeah, so in the there's even the one that says take a deep breath, look me in the eyes.
Yeah.
That's from
Oh,
our scene. Take a
oh,
deep breath,
completely. The
look
last scene
me
in the
in the
film.
eyes.
Oh my
In the wind with you above the earth is the other lyric. That's right.
That's the
That's in the movie.
other one.
So there's five lines that I took from our script and just put them in the song.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go listen to it again.
Maybe four, but there's yeah, they're fun little Easter eggs.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting. That's
For
so cool.
those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a song at the very end of the movie that is a song that I wrote with Galen, our producer, for and with Aaron and Corey for the picture for at the end. And it's one of those if you build it, they will come because we didn't know if Hallmark was gonna like it, but we
Yeah.
put all this time and energy in and we're like, here it is, and they loved it. So that's good.
As they should.
That's good. As they should. I agree, as they should. So you're um when you just mentioned briefly 13 seasons of Face Off, what is that? I know what it is, but can you share with my peeps?
Absolutely. So Face Off is on Netflix right now. It's a reality competition based around special effects makeup. So you have a certain amount of competitors each season. Like I said, it ran for 13 seasons. I think we did that
That's
over the course of
crazy.
8 years. And every season, an artist would win $100,000, a car, and a year's contract with the makeup company. So it was a big coup to win, but I will be honest, a lot of people that didn't win still went on to have amazing careers. In fact, I just saw one of the contestants um, 5 days ago because he's got a monster museum here in Las Vegas. So I took a friend to go see him, and Tom Devlin, he was in season one. So I actually, that's my Mother's Day post. Ironically, where this movie comes out on Mother's Day, my Mother's Day post of last year, I think it was to, ooh, sorry, you're falling there, was to, lost you, um, was to all the contestants on, I'm just going to hold it, of Face Off, because they were like children to me. They became
Ah,
like all my kids, whether they were older or younger, didn't matter. They all became my kids. So my Mother's Day
oh,
post
wow.
was to them saying, thank you for making me your special effects mother.
Wow. Yes, so people can check on Netflix and have a look at
Yeah,
it.
so season 4 and 5 is on Netflix.
Cool.
I know there are a couple seasons on Amazon. There are a couple seasons on Hulu. Like it's everywhere. But for some reason, the 2 seasons that my husband is in as the judge, I think you have to buy them on Apple. I'm pretty sure you buy them on Apple.
Okay, cool. That's so rad.
So that's
And
yeah, that's how we met.
was it your show creation?
No. So the interesting thing with that, my dad went in to be interviewed to be a staple judge. And he said to the producers, do you have a host? And they're like, well, there are a couple people we're looking at. And he said, well, would you consider my daughter? And they're like, she's a soap actress. Why would we put a soap actress on a sci-fi show? And he's like, no, 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 you don't understand. She was on my lap while I was making prosthetics for Robert De
She was
Niro and Sylvester
in
Stallone.
Raging Bull for
Yeah.
cracking ice.
But I was with my dad a lot in the lab, so I knew how everything worked. I knew I would see him run the rubber, and I mean, it sounds so horrible, but we had more severed heads and body parts laying around our house and fake blood, and I think more people
That is
ever do in their
so
life.
wild.
That was
So
my childhood. So long
you're
story short, that's what they eventually, after like 5 auditions, and inevitably they would always call me when I was right in like the 405 and 101, and would be in t-shirt and jeans. I had to go back in, and they could. Sci-Fi eventually said, "Why can't she ever show up looking nice?"
oh
And the producers were like, "You realize we're calling her in last minute."
yeah. Yeah.
So it ended up being great. Sci-Fi was amazing. The producers were amazing, and it was a fantastic show to work on. It was so fun because I felt that was another one where I felt like I was in an art gallery every day because I had these
Um,
amazing artists and
yeah,
these
around
amazing touches.
super talented artists.
Yeah.
Well, I before we wrap up, I just tell us a little bit about Westmore Beauty and what that is and how that came to be and like your favorite thing about it.
So Westmore Beauty came to be um, going back to my days on Passions. I was in my 20s and we were like, here, I remember the production saying, here's to like 50 more years of Passions. And within months, it went under. And I didn't have a backup plan. So I ended up working in a vitamin shop. I ended up packing vitamins for Janet Jackson and Sons of Anarchy just to make ends meet. Um, Moving forward, then when I got Face Off, I was like, okay, I hit rock bottom. I'm back up again. I need a backup plan. And I thought, I come from a makeup family. I'm on a makeup show. I'm dating a makeup guy. I'd be stupid to not create my own cosmetic line. So that's where Western Beauty came to be, where it's really, we're called indie cosmetics because it's not your traditional cosmetics. Yes, we have mascaras and blushes, but even our blush, it's a neon yellow stick that adjusts to the pH of your skin. So the premise of Western Beauty for me was really a problem solution of self tanners are an issue. They smell, it takes hours to develop, they make freckling and age spots worse. Where the body coverage perfector, it covers all that. It gives like that Barbie skin, but it's waterproof and it's sweatproof and it's transfer proof. So I was really very much trying to figure out, okay, what bothers me, what bothers most women, and try to not only create products that build confidence, but are game changers in the world of makeup, and also a continuous nod to my family's history.
Wow. And you've been on QVC for how many years?
10 years now, coming on 11.
Wow, there's a big crossover between, I think, Hallmark audience and
Yeah,
QVC.
yeah.
Uh, and I really, and you, that's just wild that you go on there and it's they put this, I had a red mark on my nose, like from,
That
you know,
video's on my
those,
TikTok.
it's on your TikTok, and you put on
Yes.
that green and it just smoothed it like right out.
Yep.
And especially because it was cold that morning and I have rosacea where I get like super rosy red cheeks
Yeah,
and
I have the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
it's called the red zone edit, and it's fun because it's green. But when it mixes with the skin, it neutralizes the redness. So that's
Yeah.
why a lot of my products too are unisex. And that's why you see my husband is my model for this. This is what I was selling yesterday, right here in this dress. I was selling this yesterday on QVC because I couldn't fly to the East Coast. I had to Skype in. But it's basically, we jokingly call it Botox in a bottle because I think it's great to have products that build confidence, but you don't need to go to a doctor's office.
Right.
So it really just, you see the bags under the eyes, especially for my husband when he does it because he woke up with puffiness under his eyes. You see the skin just go, but it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It has color correctors. It doesn't flake or turn white. So it's, again, it's all about problem solution, problem solution.
Yeah. And is that what some of those awards are behind you, or are those your
Yeah.
Emmys, or what are all those?
These are, that's why this is my QVC setup, and I apologize I didn't move it. But I've won best in, so I actually have three more over there. I got to get on the shelf. I've won best instant fix for this one 6 years in a row, and that's a coveted award. I've won best body coverage, I think 3, 4 years in a row.
Wow.
I've won best setting powder. I've won best plumping lip gloss 3 years in a row.
I gotta get some of that for Kate. She has one, and I'm like, I don't like that. And I think there's another. I wanted to find another one for her.
Another, which
Pumping
one?
lip gloss. She has one,
Oh,
and I just don't like it because if I kiss her, I'm like
it
my lips feel
burns.
weird.
Yeah. That was a big thing for me to make sure that this didn't burn.
Oh,
So I'll get
oh,
Kate
great.
stuff.
And we're gonna do a giveaway on the watch party. So for some of you watching this, if you watch a replay too, you can just go to the link where it says all my links, and it'll be the top link to get a ticket to the watch party where we're gonna be doing some giveaways there as well of some of these products that you're would like the
I
coverage one, right? Is that
think we're
your
probably going to do I want to do a giveaway of the body coverage
yeah,
perfector and our
okay.
big blend. I do have it here. Hold on one second. This is, like I said, my little setup. This is our big blend and blur body brush. I think I have it behind me. No, I don't. So I'm managing with one hand here because my phone fell. Hold on one
Yeah.
second. Let me try and prop this up.
Put your phone back down. You don't have to hold it. Or maybe you
Well,
do have to
I
hold
kind of
it.
have to because it like I have my notifications turned off, but somehow one snuck in, so it buzzed my phone, and now it might say I'm kiltered, but at least I can open this and show you, and then I'll hold it. So this is the big blend and blur body brush, and you see how big it is.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you massage the product in like this so you don't have to get it. It won't stain your hands, but it just makes it easier. And everything I do is like this is charcoal infused, so it's antibacterial. Everything is cruelty free. We just got our stamp because it takes a long time to get clean beauty.
Wow.
So no parabens, no sulfates, vegan, everything. So we really work to bring every woman the best product that's healthy for them, but works, because my big thing is I want every woman to feel like Marilyn Monroe, Rita Hayworth, Ava Gardner. I want them to feel that same, like you're leaving your house walking a red carpet. Like I feel every woman deserves to feel that way. And guys,
That's so cool. That brush looks epic. I just want to like
it's
touch it.
that's why I keep it here, because it's literally like I
Oh,
died.
Charlene has your perfector, and she has that brush.
Oh, you have it? That
Yeah,
sounds like the best
and it says
brush.
it keeps,
I
and
see
Timmy says
Charlene.
it keeps
Yeah, thumbs
popping.
up, Charlene.
That, that's amazing, and it
This
keeps
thing
popping up.
became like a game changer. Charlene, I don't know. Have you gotten the exfoliating body prep wash? Okay, so funny story with this, because I mentioned it the last, so in March, I had a lot of body coverage to sell through. And I started promoting a product we never promote, and I don't know why. And I'm like, you guys, this product is huge. It's an exfoliating body prep wash. We actually take rose petals. We soak the rose petals in the water, and we take the essence of that. And it's oil free, and it preps the skin for the body coverage perfector. Well, because I kept mentioning on QVC, sold out, gone. I think we might have just gotten it back in, but I'm not. Forgive me if we didn't. Forgive me if it's
Wild.
still sold out.
How wild that you have a product that can 10 million people, you said, popped onto your
Yeah, it's like
QVC?
5 to 10 million at any given time, but yeah, it's roughly 10 million.
Wild, wild.
It's insane.
Um, this is what I mean. I told some of the folks who are my regulars that like the amount of stories and the accomplishments you have and the talent you have, you're like one of the most interesting people I've ever met.
You're so sweet.
For
Thanks.
sure.
Nice. That's too
For
nice.
sure. Well, I want to wrap this up. I want to save some of these questions I have, and especially the teaser of the JFK and family. I also have a question about Tourette's, about like, your equestrian skills, about your personal training certificate, about your dual citizenship. So this is just what some of my research
Oh my
brought up.
goodness. You did your
Yeah,
research.
yeah. Hey, hey,
I'm
hey, hey.
impressed.
I had help. I had help.
Well,
Uh,
I'm impressed. I am very impressed.
well, if you guys, I'm really excited. You're gonna pop on after the movie, and so just a quick refresher. At
Yeah.
4 o'clock Pacific, I'm gonna play music on Zoom to you folks, whoever has a ticket. And with the tickets, you get the concert, me coming in and all the commercials, explaining almost like a behind the scenes inside the actor's studio, me lifting up the curtain saying this was happening here, here's where I had food poisoning and things like that. And then right after the show, uh, Mackenzie's going to pop on Zoom with us, and you
Yes.
guys can ask questions to us. And then we're going to do a couple more giveaways of a few things. We have some bags, some really cool bags that have the lyrics to my song on it,
Oh, I love that.
and a couple of your coverage things or anything else that you think you can do. And then, but wait,
But wait,
there's more.
there's more.
There's this T-shirt that has the album cover, and then also a signed poster from McKenzie and I where we signed it. So
Yes.
that and now the early bird ends, I think May 3rd or 4th. But if you're watching this and you want to grab a ticket, it's in the bio, or just go to paulgreene.com. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
It's so lovely to talk to you. I seriously think I feel like we could talk about so many different things for forever. Like I'm fascinated with your family's history. But the fascinating part is how how that integrated into the fabric of who you are as an artist and as a creator and as an entrepreneur and as an advocate and like all these things. It's it's just such a special backstory, and it's so colorful because like what are the films that the big like Gone with the Wind,
Mhm.
Raging Bull, Sound of Music.
Nah, I don't know what Sound of Music, but I know Creature from the Black Lagoon, Ten Commandments. One of my favorites, White Christmas, Breakfast at Tiffany's, um, Gone with the Wind, we said. And then my dad moving forward, a Blade Runner. My dad did Blade Runner.
And
Um,
this
Mask.
is the special effects makeup, right?
Correct, yes. And
For the
that's where he won
mask.
the Oscar for that movie. And then he won 9 Emmys for Star Trek, Eleanor Roosevelt, a bunch of different things. And he actually, I don't know if he still does, but I think he still holds the Guinness Book World Record for the most nominations in makeup.
Well, how many is that?
I don't know, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. His Oscar is for what movie?
Mask with Eric Stoltz and Cher.
Oh, not Mask, the Jim
No,
Carrey
not the
one.
Jim Carrey one. Eric Stoltz shared. It was actually a true story about a boy in Azusa that had what was called the lion's disease, and his head was shaped like a lion, and he had hair like a lion. And the family worked closely on this film, and they offered my dad the skull. And my dad said, "No, no, no, thank you, but I will
They
create
off
from my mind."
they offered him what?
The boy, the real stories, because if you know the real story, the boy dies, and they offered him the skull to create. Yeah, my dad was like, "I'm good. I
Your
have an
dad's like, I
imagination."
deal with some dark stuff, but thanks so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's talking about dark stuff. A quick funny story you'll like. So my dad did the movie. Did you ever see Stand by Me?
No, he did what for Stand By Me? The
All,
special effects,
all the
makeup.
makeup. Do you remember the little boy's body
The one, it's been a
on the
long
train
time, but
tracks? It's on the train
With
tracks.
Jerry O'Connell, that
Yes,
one.
Jerry O'Connell. So
Uh,
my dad had created the body. It was a fake body of a little boy, super messed up. At the time, we had a hatchback. So my dad was driving home from the studio. He gets home. There are police everywhere. Apparently, a truck driver was above next to him, called the police, and followed my dad home because he thought he had the body of a dead boy in his car. And my dad had to pull the body out and explain to the police, no, 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 I'm a makeup artist. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a sick person.
whoa,
These are the things that we've had to deal with as I'm
whoa.
growing up.
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to meet them.
My
I you
parents are
know
amazing, though. You got to meet them. They are the sweetest people. Sweetest. I literally was on the phone with them before I jumped on here.
yeah. Well, when you guys come out, we'll have to pop over with Kate and meet
You
your
have
husband too.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. We'll make it happen.
Okay, good.
So everybody, May 10th is our movie Love in the
Yeah.
Clouds on Hallmark Channel. Share with everybody. It's very heartwarming and beautifully shot, and the script is gorgeous, and your acting in it is so so alive and spontaneous and fun
Thank
and
you.
crackling. I think everyone's gonna just really fall in love with
Thank
you
you.
and the movie as well. Yeah,
I love that it's coming out Mother's Day too, or the day before Mother's Day. I love
yeah.
that it's the Mother's Day film of Hallmark because there's so many layers to it that I love of our story, Alexis and her story, and then you got Lorenzo Lamas and Gail O'Grady and their story. There's so many layers of love and mothering, and I love that it's coming out Mother's Day weekend.
Yes, I know, me too. It's and the whole Hallmark event is Made for Moms, or the
Yeah.
whole event is about that. So cool. All right, I'm going to see you here on Zoom. We're going to say goodbye to Instagram,
Okay.
and thank you everybody. And we'll make sure you tune in. And if you're watching this later, the link will just be in my link on my bio there. So all right, thanks
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Congrats to you ladies for winning those tickets. All right, bye, bye.